Hi everyone, Coldam here with another VOX Immortalis commentary guide. This video is for the Heartbreaker achievement, the hard mode for the XT-002 deconstructor. The start of the fight is just like normal, as if you were doing normal mode. We pull XT into our desired kill position, which is near the stairs here, and kind of get our setup as far as positions go. You'll see we use three basic positions. The tank position, where I am standing, the melee position, obviously directly behind XT, and then our ranged and healer position, which is perpendicular to XT's facing. And you'll see once hard mode starts why we set up like this. However, at the beginning everything is normal until you get him to 75%, so DPS as you would. Save your cooldowns, trinkets, things like that for the heart. Once he reaches 75, everyone should focus DPSing the heart. This includes healers. We use two healers in this fight, and both a paladin and a resto druid, and they both DPS as hard as they can to help out on the heart. In this particular kill, we still have the sated debuff from Bloodlust, so we couldn't lust. So things get a little tight, but as long as your DPS is decent, you should get it down in time. As a tank, make sure you sunder up the heart quickly, and then grab pummelers that come in. Also, everyone should watch out for bomb bots that are coming toward the boss. In this particular fight, they came from my side, so no one was really in danger except for myself. And then we gather the pummelers up, DPS focus on the pummelers. Usually we have a few ranged, killing the small trash mobs that still may be up from the piles. And once the pummelers are dead, everyone focuses on XT. As you know, once the heart dies, the hard mode does begin. This gives XT an increase in his health and his damage are both boosted. This affects every ability in the fight except for Tantrum. Tantrum is not increased in damage from the hard mode. It is percentage of your health that it deals, so that does not change. However, the damage from the gravity bomb expiration and the pull-in, if that is applied, and the damage from light bomb are increased. Another thing to note is when light bomb expires on hard mode, it spawns a new mob called Life Spark, as you see there. Life Spark is just a small little orb. It has normal threat, like any normal mob, and it melees for a pretty significant amount, somewhere around 5,000 on a full tank, so it can hurt pretty badly. I've seen a lot of videos use two tanks for this fight, one for Life Spark duty, but we found that was overkill, and that's the reason for our three position setup on this fight. So what you'll find is we have people that get the light bomb debuff run behind the tank, kind of where the green smoke is in the movie here. So you can see Ugra or Shaman running there. And once his debuff expires, the Life Spark spawns at that position. We then immediately tell the caster DPS that the spark has spawned. They target it. A /target life macro works great. And they start DPSing it down. If it is about to reach any of the ranged DPS or healers, I, as the tank, will taunt the Life Spark. And this has a couple benefits. The first mainly is that it buys time. So it spends that 4 seconds that it would normally beat on someone running back toward me. And by the time that duration of taunt ends, it starts moving back. So really it never gets a chance to melee anyone. And this is a great damage saver in this particular hard mode. Using a second tank for Life Sparks we found was pretty much overkill. And this setup is much more stable and gives you that extra DPS or healer where you might need it. The other thing is gravity bombs. People that get gravity bombed, instead of moving behind the tank, they go behind the melee setup. So as you can see on the far end, on the east, there's a number of void zones there. So when you get the gravity bomb, as you can see, Raffle on the left just ran back there. And you just find an empty spot, wait for your buff to expire, the void zone spawns, you take a 11,000 or so explosion damage, and then you run back to position. That's pretty much it. The tank should be aware that sometimes life sparks, since they spawn with no threat on anything, and they have normal threat table abilities, they can aggro on the player that they spawn from. So a moment ago that happened to our mage. He probably gained some mana from a crit or something, and this caused threat just as the spark spawned. And if that happens, your tank should be aware and quickly taunt it. You can use Thunderclap if you're in range, anything like that. This is doubly important for when it's on a healer, so you can see if it spawns on one of your healers, you should be aware and ready to immediately grab the spark as the tank. Otherwise, there's a good chance the healing aggro will actually aggro the spark onto them and they'll take melee damage, and that's pretty heavy. As far as healing setups, as I mentioned, we use 2 healers. It is pretty stressful for them, but it works very well. We have our Holy Paladin, keep beacon up on the tank obviously, and his main focus is to heal people that get the Light Bomb debuff. It does a very, very heavy amount of damage to that player due to the hard mode damage increase, and this goes doubly for when Tantrum is up. If they don't receive multiple heals during this, they will die. So our Holy Paladin focuses on healing those players. There's almost always someone with the Light Bomb debuff. If there isn't, he spot heals, of course, anyone else. And then we have a Resto Druid who keeps Hots on the tank just for that stability, and then heals the raid damage in general. Wild Growth, Rejuice, things like that are great. And the combination of those 2 healers has worked very well. Since this fight is completely stationary, Holy Paladins can gain a lot of mana via melee. And so it really becomes just a longevity fight. The enrage timer is very forgiving, even if your DPS is fairly weak. You just want to figure out how you can stabilize the spawns, make sure you kill sparks quickly, control where gravity bombs go, limit the AE damage, try not to let people get meleeed by sparks, and that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching.